Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm Ken, photographer, RandallMRueff. And I'm going to talk to you today about something there's no way I will ever end up getting unless Canon decides to shell out the money and send me one, or I win the $1 million lottery, or there's some other possibilities where I can win a lot of money, or somebody comes with a lot of money and wants to give me this lens. More than likely, I'll probably never see this lens in person, not to mention own it myself or have access to it. But let's talk about it. The CINE-SERVO 50 to 1000 millimeter T5.0-8.9 EF, which means if I had a 1DX or 1DC, this lens would work. I don't. Actually, it would work with my digital XT, because it's an EF mount. So it would work with the camera I have, actually. As far as photos, my camera doesn't do video, so I don't have that option. So, let me talk about the focal length first of all. Wow. 50-1000 plus a built-in 1.5 teleconverter, which takes it to 75 to 1500 or 1500. So basically 50 to 1500. That is an incredible range and reach, especially to have 4K capabilities completely all the way through. CINE-SERVO, which means with the servo attachment on the side, you can zoom in and out. It will autofocus. I don't know how good that works with photo. It's supposed to work really good with video, obviously. I don't know how good that'll work with taking pictures, or I don't know exactly how that works with photos, but it's supposed to be really good with video, especially at the price. Let's talk about focal length, though. When I started in photography, what I call serious photography, which was in high school, my first SLR camera, which of course was a film camera, I had 3 lenses. I ended up buying 3 lenses. A 24-70, a 70-210, and then eventually a 400. The 400 was fixed focal length. Wasn't a zoom. And with 24-70, you got your wide angles, your standard, and a little bit of a zoom. That was tele. Of course, 70-210 was your with my zoom lens, or what I called my zoom lens. It was, but it got you closer up from farther away. And then, of course, when I got that 400, it was my sports lens. In fact, I won a little, for what it's worth, I don't know if it's really anything fancy, I'm sure it's not, but I won a sports award for one of the pictures I took for the school newspaper using that 400 lens. So, eventually I sold that camera, and actually I think I gave my camera away to my cousin. And then I sold the lenses, or sold 2 of the lenses. If I remember, I gave her the 24-70, and then the 70-210 I sold, and the 400 I sold, if I remember right. But anyway, point is, don't have them anymore. They're long gone. Don't have any idea where they would be. But I remember having that 400, and other photographers that I was in the school newspaper with being jealous because it was a very powerful lens. And I borrowed it. I remember loaning it to some photographers to use for different sporting events at Columbus North High School. So I remember that. And I remember getting an award for that one picture I took, which I didn't think it was even that good, but that's something I thought was real good. So 400 was considered a very long focal length back in the day. Now, obviously, the 400 that I could afford was not what you would call what's the word I'm looking for? Professional lens, but it was a 400, and it was, for me, it did the job. I don't remember what the aperture was. I would have to. I don't remember. I don't have a clue. But it was a 400, and I really liked it. Enjoyed doing sports with it. Of course, back in the day, I couldn't afford to do photography like I do now, because when you did photography back in the day, you had to have film, and you had to buy the film and then process the film and then make either do contact sheets or buy prints. So it was a lot more expensive. Photography now, once you get over the initial investment of the cameras and the lenses and the cards and the flash, once you have your equipment paid for, the photography itself is cheap, because all you have to pay for is to charge your batteries, and you can reuse your cards, and you can reuse your camera, you can reuse everything's reusable for the most part, unless you burn a lot of CDs or DVDs. But once you have your equipment nowadays, and you're using digital, all of your equipment, once you pay for your equipment and you own it, the act of doing photography is cheap. It's very cheap. It's just you doing the work and a little bit of power to recharge your batteries. That's it. Whereas, like I said, back in the day, you had to buy the film. You couldn't change your ISO without changing your film, which was a hassle. It's not like today where you can just push a button on their camera. You couldn't do that. You had to change film, which was a pain in the butt. And then you had to take the time of developing your film. You're doing it in a lab, like we did it. Black and white film we did it in the lab at school. And color film we had to send out, I remember, because we didn't have the chemicals to do color film at the school. So it was a big hassle and a big expense that photographers today just don't realize how great it is. And that's why I love technology the way it is. I love my digital camera. It may not be the best, and it's far from the best, but it's far superior to what I had back in high school days, back in the 90s, early 90s. So I'm grateful for what I got. I just wish I had better stuff. But at the time, a 400 millimeter lens was very powerful. I remember that very well. It was heavy. It was well made, but it was heavy. And I handheld it the whole time. Every once in a while I put it on a tripod, but for the most part I handheld it. So it wasn't a big deal as far as hand holding it. But 400 was a big length when it came to lenses back in the day. Now we got the CINE-SERVO 50-1000. That's without the teleconverter. With the built-in teleconverter, it goes all the way to 1500. That is astronomically insane when you think about 400 back in the 90s. And the fact that you can do 4K all the way through to 1500, insane. Now, I don't know what this is going to do as far as photos. I've never seen it or had access to it. But that focal length in and of itself is amazing. Now, you're probably going to put this on a tripod, or depending on how you use it, maybe a monopod. If you're using it a lot, I don't know how heavy this is. So I just, I know the servo on the side adds to the weight, of course, whether you use it or not. Obviously, if you're doing video, you're going to want that. I don't know when doing photos if you need that servo or if you want the servo or how that works. I don't have access to this kind of equipment to try it out and use it. I wish I did. I wish I owned one. So I would love to have a range of 50 to 1000. That would be awesome. The only thing that would be better is if it went to 25. I would like to have something that went from 25 to 1000 so I can get some wider angle stuff as well. But for overall, a 50 to 1000 would be, that would be like the perfect, aside from the size issue and weight issue. If it went to 25, that way I could get wide angle too. But nonetheless, 50 to 1000 is an everyday lens. It's just an amazing, amazing lens. There's a reason it costs as much as it does. Does it do full frame? I don't know. Is it super 35 millimeter? Let's see what it says. 4K performance for super 35 millimeter large format single sensor camera. Large format single sensor cameras and accommodates with due to its removable for either broadcast or cinema style production due to its removable Digital drive unit. Available ERPM mounts. The world's longest focal length. So it's the world's longest focal length. 75 to 1500 with a built-in 1.5 teleconverter. And highest 20 times magnification on super 35 zooms as of October 16th, 2014. This is great for sports and nature. Let's see what else it has to say. Easy to carry, has a reliable compact form factor of only 16.3 inches. Let's see how compare 16.3 inches to my current lens, which is 5 3/8 approximately. So what is it? 18 inches, 16 inches. So basically, it's approximately, not quite, but approximately 3 times that length. Which again, if that's the only lens you need, you can have it for everyday use, for everything from standard to sport. I mean, that's boom. It's a boom. That's the boom lens. I mean, that's like awesome. But it's 3 times, and I'm sure it's a lot heavier than what I've got now. So awesome. It's beautiful. Now with the servo, now I'm sure it's going to take a lot more power. That's a downside. I'm sure that either that servo unit right there on the side is probably going to take a lot more power. Makes it look cool. I mean, it still looks cool with that on there. There it is with a little teleconverter hump on the left side of the lens, I should say. And there you can see both. Of course, with that servo, you've got the standard, like on my XL1S, I have a forward and away, plus an autofocus. So for video, I'm sure it's going to be awesome. My question is, what's it like with photos? I would love to try it out and see. I don't know, but it looks awesome. I would love to have it. And I love the lens hood. That lens hood is really cool. That's similar to the XL1S as well. I wish I could get this lens hood for my 20-300 lens. That would be awesome. Because I love the way that lens hood looks. This lens hood looks awesome. Anyway, sorry. No, I'm not completely but it does look good. I like it. It's a beautiful lens. Wish I could afford it. But since I can't, I'm going to talk about it. And it's one of those things I wish I could afford, but I can't. Because it's very expensive. It's anything but cheap. But it's very well built. For those of you who have it or can afford to get it, I'm very jealous. Of course, let's talk about the other thing is the f-stop. Of course, being a 50-1000 and 75 to 1500, you're not going to get a 2.8 or even a 3 or a 4. Your f-stop here starts at 5 and goes to 8.9. Now, could they have made that maybe a 4 or a 3? Yeah, or even a 2.8? Yes, but to do that, they would have had to make the end of the lens. See right here where it says 50-1000? They would have had to have made this lens a lot wider at this end to get like a 2.8 or a 2.1. They would have had to make this part of the lens right here a lot wider to allow that light to go in, to get a 2.8 or a 3.5 or something like that. So you get a 5.0 to 8.9. Now, if you got a camera like the 1DX or the 1DC that has really good low light capabilities, that's not so much a problem as it would be for my digital XT that I have here that only goes up to 1600. If you've got a 5D Mark III or a 5DS or 5DSR or a 7D even, this would be a good lens for that, more than likely. But I can't afford it, and so unless Canon drops one in my lap, you're not going to see an unboxing video for this one, at least not from me. I wish I could give that to you, but I can't. So it's just something beautiful, and since I can't actually have one to touch and look at and unbox and use and show you, I'm going to just sit here and talk about it and make a video talking about it, because that's what I like to do based on my limited resources. There's lots I can do. If I had a lot of money and a lot of resources, I would do a lot more, but since I don't, I do the best I can with what I've got. So that's why I make these videos. So until next time, I'm Ken for RandallMRueff saying thanks for watching, have a good day, and may God bless you. And of course, as always, no matter what kind of camera lens you have, keep taking those pictures.